All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Vasily Lomachenko scared of Teofimo Lopez and wants out of the fight, needs a tune-up. Before the fight happens, at least that is what Teofimo Lopez is claiming that Vasily Lomachenko said. And Robert Garcia, the trainer of Mikey Garcia, gives his opinion about it. But let's go through that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about two of the best lightweights in the world. One guy is one of the best fighters in the world, and that is Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko. Is it Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko? I can't remember what his alias is, but Lomachenko, Vasily Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is the IBF champion at 135 pounds, and Vasily Lomachenko is the WBO, WBA, and the WBC franchise champion. Now, these guys are supposed to be having a fight with one another, but Teofimo Lopez believes that Vasily Lomachenko is trying to get out of the fight. And this is what he had. This is his opinion. He said that Vasily Lomachenko is saying that he needs a tune-up fight before fighting Teofimo Lopez. Now, do I know whether this is true or not? I absolutely do not. Only thing that I know is that Teofimo Lopez said that that's the case. Now, this isn't the first thing that Teofimo Lopez has said that would make you believe or where to express his belief that Vasily Lomachenko is trying to get out of this fight with him. And that he really doesn't want the fight. He wants some other fight. Now, I know that this is not the preferred fight for Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko, because he was asked, if Vasily Lomachenko could fight one guy at lightweight, that would be a guy that does not have a belt, and that is Gervonta Tank Davis. But I believe Vasily Lomachenko is being pushed forward to a fight with Teofimo Lopez because that is what Bob Arum wants. And as a result, that's why I think this is a very, very risky fight for Vasily Lomachenko. Now, did he say, I'm telling you, I do not know that he said he wants a tune-up, but I will tell you that there are several things that have led me to believe that Teofimo Lopez is not far off in what he's saying. And it's two things. One is what Vasily Lomachenko has said about fighting at 135 pounds and what Vasily Lomachenko has actually done at 135 pounds and how that relates to Teofimo Lopez. So first thing first, what has Vasily Lomachenko said about 135 pounds? Ever since he's got there, he said that that's not his weight class, that he's not a 135 pounder. He's really a 130 pounder, and that he eventually wants to move back down in weight. So Vasily Lomachenko, not just as it relates to Teofimo Lopez, but as it relates to the entire lightweight division, he says that he's not comfortable in that weight. He would rather fight at 130 pounds where he feels more comfortable. Now, what is it what makes him feel uncomfortable? That the guys at 135 pounds are a lot bigger than he is. A lot bigger than he is, in some instances a lot stronger than he is, and he has also had he's had more difficulties. But the other thing he says that he did, the big thing that made me feel like he's unconfident at 135 pounds is when he accepted that franchise belt for the WBC. Because the WBC franchise belt prevents you or allows you to keep that championship without fighting mandatories. And he gave up that belt once Devin Haney, a young, strong, fast 135 pounder, became his mandatory. So again, those are things that make me feel that Vasily Lomachenko is not really comfortable at 135 pounds. And the fact that he says he's not comfortable at 135 pounds, the fact that he says that he wants to move back down in weight, and the fact that he gave up a belt at 135 to avoid a very, very competitive and dangerous mandatory in Devin Haney. So those are the things that he said and that he did. But also in the ring, if you look at the way that he's fought at 135 pounds, he's the there is Lomachenko. Okay, there is Lomachenko. There is no more Lomachenko. He is not stopping. He is not stopping, bamboozling, and having, and running people amok in the ring to the extent that they just stop fighting. Like what was going on at 135 pounds with Guillermo Rigondeaux, with Nicholas Walters, with Miguel Mariaga, and I don't know, maybe even Jason Sosa. But if you look at those four fighters, none of those guys really are 130-pound fighters. Miguel Mariaga is not 130-pound fighter. He was fighting for belts at 126. In fact, he had just lost for a championship at 126 before he moved up to 130. And he's also in line right now at 126 pounds to fight Shakur Stevenson. So not only was he not at 130 pounds, he wasn't at 130 pounds before he fought Vasily Lomachenko, and he went back down to 126 after he fought Vasily Lomachenko. He's not even a 130 pounder, let alone a 135 pounder. Same thing goes with Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux is now fighting. He's not even fighting at 122 anymore. He's fighting at 118. So Vasily Lomachenko fought Guillermo Rigondeaux at 130, and now Guillermo Rigondeaux is not 2 weight classes down from there, but 3 full weight classes below Vasily Lomachenko. So that size difference was absolutely huge for Guillermo Rigondeaux was ridiculous. So at 130 pounds, that's when all the no-mas stuff was happening. What do you get at 135 pounds? He goes a distance against Campbell. He goes the distance, who is not some top-notch fighter. I don't care what anybody got to say. That is not some mega top-notch fighter in Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell got more behind whoopings coming for him real soon. So Luke Campbell went the distance with him. Jorge Linares went the distance with him. And this is a Jose Pedraza. This is a Jose Pedraza that got starched by Gervonta Davis at 100 and an inexperienced Gervonta Tank Davis at 130 pounds. But yet he comes up to 135 pounds and he wins some rounds against Vasily Lomachenko. I think he gave him a couple little cuts over his eyes, winds up getting stopped and lost the fight. No doubt. He didn't get stopped, but getting dropped. He lost the fight, no doubt about it. But he goes the distance, something that did not happen at 130 pounds of Vasily Lomachenko. And then you have, Jorge Linares, who drops Vasily Lomachenko at 135 pounds. It's just Vasily Lomachenko is a great fighter, man, a terrific fighter. He's better than all the guys he's fought. He's just a lot better fighter than all of those guys he fought at 135 pounds. But you can see the difference that the size made and the strength made and how it made that fight. Although Vasily Lomachenko won the fight, it kept it from being the one-sided, lopsided, high-tech, matrix-style wins that he was getting at 130 pounds. And it's reasonable that he might want to go back down to 130 pounds so that he can have, fights like that again. But when you're talking about Teofimo Lopez is, he's everything you don't want at 135 if you're worried about the size of a 135-pound fighter. Because of all of those guys that I named, I don't think any of the guys at 135 pounds that fought Vasily Lomachenko, I don't think any of those guys are gonna go the distance with Teofimo Lopez. I think Jose Pedraza, I think he goes to sleep. I think Jorge Linares goes to sleep. I know $1 Million Crawler goes to sleep, and I'm pretty certain that Luke Campbell is going to go to sleep. If not, he's going to get battered. Maybe Luke Campbell can go the distance with Teofimo Lopez. But as far as being worried about the size, the speed, and the boxing skill of a lightweight, and you're talking about a lightweight that probably is going to wind up at 147 pounds, that is a very difficult fight for Vasily Lomachenko. And I could understand why he might be a little more hesitant to do that because he has he has a chance to go to sleep in that fight. Teofimo Lopez has that type of power, and Vasily Lomachenko is no longer a young fighter. He's not a young fighter. The longer that fight goes, the more trouble it is for Vasily Lomachenko. And if you look at the way that Vasily Lomachenko fights, his plan B is very, very dangerous. If Vasily Lomachenko, like the first way that Vasily Lomachenko fights is he'll switch angles on you, try to confuse you, score because he's, in that particular manner, the whole jump, he jumps to his left real quick while you're left facing where he came from, hits you on the side of the head a couple times, jumps, rinse, repeat. If he can't do that, because people have equalized that, people started switching with him at 135. When he changes angles, those other guys that fought him, they were not committing to punches, trying to take Vasily Lomachenko's head off. They were just pity-patting with him and then changing angles with him and scoring points on him. He would score points on them. The fight winds up having a lot of, closer rounds. And then Vasily Lomachenko goes into seek and destroy mode and starts looking for body shots and starts walking people down. With Teofimo Lopez, that plan B can get you knocked out. If he cannot score points on and beat Teofimo Lopez by changing angles, catching him off balance, that type of stuff, and he is forced then to start trying to walk Teofimo Lopez down and take him out with those really nice body shots that he has, he very well might catch 1, 2, or 3 from Teofimo Lopez, and his head ain't meant to be hit by a guy like that. So, I think that there is some validity to what Teofimo Lopez says, and if I was Vasily Lomachenko's manager, I might be thinking about trying to get him another fight too. Anyway, you let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.